Shetima,
the Fulanis are fighting hand in hand with the United States of America to make sure that they expose Tinubu's on these dirty activities in the past in the United States of America. That was dating from 92, 93, during the political umpires that actually engulfed Abacha regime when Abiola won 1993 election during Badamosi Ibrahim Babangida's regime. The Tinubu's transaction then in Chicago has actually sprung up by the FBI, CIA, and the Homeland Security in the USA. And they actually find out that if Tinubu has not taken his time, America will actually deal with him. So that's why the Fulani Janjaweeds are joining forces with American government to make sure that Tinubu is nailed. Do you know what is going on now? They are working hard, so assiduously, daily, to make sure that Trump's administration takes Tinubu case issue serious. And as I'm talking to you now, Freedom of Information Agency in the USA, in conjunction with human rights activists across the United States of America, has actually come out to tell the system, the American government under the watch of Trump, that they are Americans, that everybody has freedom of speech as his fundamental right, which is why Tinubu is not having a hiding place. A golden fish has no hiding place, and within Nigerian territory, Fulani has actually blacklisted Tinubu because Tinubu has turned his back on Fulani oligarchy in the north. That's why they are aggrieved and they are looking for every possible means to see that Tinubu is nailed. See, let me tell you, the game has just started, and I think it is the finality that will justify the means, because they are aligning with the United States of America, aligning with the Interpol to make sure that the whole appropriate documents of Tinubu's past transaction in Chicago, USA is brought to limelight for everybody on earth to see. And you know that presently, social media has made it possible for us actually to become a global village. Nothing is any longer hidden under the sun. The documents are coming out. The FBI are working hard to make sure that they expose Nigerian president. And the Fulanis are jubilating, jumping up. And let me tell you, that is what served Tinubu well. It served him good because Tinubu went to Kanu, gave them 50-something million. He says, Yoruba and Fulanis are one. They are brothers and sisters. My hand no day. You know, it is my turn. Emiloko. Emiloko time. Emiloko should go.
Shetima now, is it that they are stylishly preparing Shetima to take over? They know that if in case anything should happen.
Something like that. Shetima is preparing himself, but the issue is the cabal all around Tinubu. Are they going to agree? Because I know what actually transpired during Jonathan era. Jonathan was about taking over from Yaradua. The Hausa, the Fulani, they said no. So months, it was obvious Yaradua died, was dead, and they actually left that office after milking Nigeria billions upon billions of dollars. The wife of Yaradua then, Trayo, was in charge, ruling Nigeria, catching in and out. And I'm telling you that currently, I don't think the Yorubas can actually allow the like of Chetimas to take over the office of Asurok. If anything happens to Tinubu, I prefer solution. I still suggest they are scared that Nigeria will come to an end then. They should divide the country, everybody should go. Because it is obvious that it is Obi's regime. The wrong person has officiated at the office of Asurok. At Asurok. That's why things are not going on well. Lot of retribution, nemesis and karma. I think Trump is doing the right work right now, because I could remember in 1865, 1863, Abraham Lincoln was U.S. president. Then in 1776 to 1786 and so on forth, they wanted to retain General George Washington, who was the first American president, and they fought very hard so that America, everything in America will belong to Americans. And do you know the meaning of that? Americanism. Americanism meaning America is for Americans. Let me tell you the reason why I'm just bringing in this issue in, Tinubu issue. Listen, If you're a Nigerian, if you're a Zimbabwean, if you're a Cameroonian, if you are an American, Jamaican, or British man, if you violate American law, they will hold you. Oga, nobody supersedes American Constitution in the United States of America. If you go contrary to American law, they will hold you. Oga, Tinubu is not bigger than US Constitution. Oga, Tinubu was nailed 92-93. When Abiola presidency, let me say democratic crisis, because he was elected democratically, was going on in 1992-93, Tinubu got himself involved in the United States of America, and the case has come up under FOIA, Freedom of Information Agency in the United States. American lawyers, American human rights activists, American citizens could no longer hold their mouth or keep their mouth shut. So they remember this platform before Trump. They say, Oga Trump, CFOIA, Freedom of Information Agency, we must talk. What transpired between Nigerian president and the US government in 1993? We are going to bring it out. We are going to bring out the whole document. You can't stop us. They work hard because Nigerian government actually went to United States and said, no, don't make it public. Don't make it public. That was why during Obi Tinubu Presidential Election Tribunal, they stopped the court. They stopped the aggrieved parties like Atiku, Sowore, Obi, and the rest of other presidential candidates that was actually flawed extrajudiciary, illegally by APC presidential candidate Tinubu. They said, no, don't bring it out. Don't bring this drug issue out. They hold it. But today, Americans stood up on their feet because they actually found out that Tinubu is not doing the normal thing. Tinubu is holding down the can illegally. Tinubu, Lekwot, no. Zamani, Lekwot, no. El Zakzaki, the leader of Shiites, is still in jail. Why? Why must Sunni go against Shiites to the level of holding illegally El Zakzaki? Igbowo was in jail. Nnamdi Kanu was in jail. Tinubu become Nigerian president. He set Igbowo free, living in Nnamdi Kanu. Why? Is it supposed to be like that? Because Igbowo is from Yoruba land. Then Nnamdi Kanu is an Igbo man. They want him to die there. Okay, let me tell you, America will come up to actually kick Nigerian president's ass. They are going to kick his ass. Do you know what? The case has come up and they don't want to hide everything. They won't leave any table unturned until they make the whole case open to Nigeria. Do we know the kind of case that Tinubu had with America in the past that brings about this kind of, verbal crisis between United States of America and that's Europe? No, I don't know. But from some angles, they are saying that Tinubu's transactions in the past has actually caught the attention of the current, administration, U.S. administration under the watch of Donald Trump. And Trump is trying to pacify the American indigents, American lawyers, American faithfuls, people that actually respect what is America. What is American first? America first. That is Donald Trump's ideology. You see what? Tinubu has cases to answer in the past, 92-93, when Abiola's issue was, paramount in Nigeria. So this time around, America is trying to develop the kind of, let me say, tribunal, committee that will actually go deep down into forensic investigation to actually know what transpired in the past between Tinubu and the United States of America. And they're coming up with this issue. See, you can't bribe United States of America. Nobody can bribe Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a trumpet man that will never hide any truth. He's not going to leave any table unturned until he actually find out the reality, the truth, and the clarity. And it has come to play out. Tinubu himself, I know and we know how far he has gone to make sure that he blocked America from coming up with his case. That's why he traveled to France, from France to Britain. But we don't know what this case is all about. What is this case? Why are Americans so, very, very, industrious, hardworking to make sure that they don't drain from bringing to the whole world the documents that has actually had actually indicted Tinubu in the past. Something must be there. Something must be there. And what I'm trying to say is that anybody that violates the law must actually go in for it. I have not violated the law. No, I can never go into any, any law or whatever, answering to such criminalities, and I did not commit it. I'm very innocent. Tinubu must actually go for what he has done. Because this time it has happened. It is not Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, it is not Ojuzo Kanu. This time it's not an Igbo man. Oga, I think America, they should come here and actually tell Nigerians that they are the superpower of the world. United States of America is coming. If Nigerian president is indicted of any crime in USA, he must go there. I will never, ever derail from saying, no, leave him, is my president. He's not my president. This current administration has actually suffered all of us to the level that we have never experienced this kind of economic excruciation before. Excruciation in Nigerian history. So if you ask me, I will tell you that I don't have a president. It was during Obasanjo that I had a president. It was during Abacha that I had a president. In fact, when IBB was Nigerian head of state, I had a president that could represent well. So what happened is that if Tinubu is indicted of any crime in the USA, he should go for it. After all, in 2020-21, over 60 Igbos, including Yorubas, some Beninese, were arrested by FBI. They came into Nigeria to pick them on the allegation of various cyber crimes. None of them were actually, let me say, saved by Nigerian government. No, Nigerian government said, carry them, Jari, arrest all of them. Why? Because Buhari is a Fulani man. No Fulani boy, no Fulani youth was among those culprits. Because why? All the culprits are Igbos, Yoruba, and the rest of other ethnicities in the southern Nigeria. That's why Buhari allowed them. They ferried all of them, conveyed them into the United States, and they are serving various jail terms. If Tinubu commits, he should go. I've never mentioned any crime here because I don't know the crime he committed. But one thing that is well known to me is that if you violate United States Constitution, you must enter there. Do you know why? It was a hard work of 55 men in Philadelphia. Listen and listen good. In 1786, 87, and 89, the inception, writing, edition of American Constitution by 55 men. That was after independence. How many years? 10, 11, 16 years. America perfected their constitution in Philadelphia, United States of America. So if Tinubu is indicted of any crime there, I think America, FBI, and the rest of them, they have to come into this country and do the needful.
But why do you think Tinubu forfeited that $460,000, back then? Why do you think that it was he had a guilty conscience? That was why he had to forfeit that money.
Yeah, meaning he's guilty. Guilty conscience can allow you to do certain things, do the needful. Maybe the law enforcement agents and the U.S. president, they actually have left that money. Nobody touched that money. They say, okay, you abandon it. Okay, don't worry. One day you are going to answer to it. And the time has come. And for Tinubu to have abandoned such amount of money, he actually has committed a crime. And if you ask me, Ralph Tresvant, what kind of crime has Nigerian president committed? I will tell you, say, what I mean. What do you mean? You're asking me this question, I don't have any president here. Because no one won in 2023. The only person that actually won presidential election was Obi. So what are you asking me? I will refer you to Tinubu. To go and find out the kind of crime Tinubu committed in 1992-93 in the United States of America that warranted seizure of his $460,000. I don't know. But all I know is that I'm disseminating highly, guided, not misguided information into the members of public, especially Nigerian diasporans, to understand what is going on. If they actually come after your president, you Nigerian that is watching me now in Europe, your president is better in a position to answer to what has gone wrong. Not me, Ralph. Not
our option of the Fulani, the Sultan of Sokoto, the Caliphate, you know, the northern Fulani governors. In fact, I think the elders too are also involved in that game plan, because what we are seeing is that, you know, they are looking at options, because it's a big tough for them now to see how they are going to use Akpabio, who is already the Senate president, use the House of Reps to instigate any form of emergency within the political space that will lead to impeachment, you know. But they having calculated that all those areas, they are still working towards that direction, seeing on what are going to lay their hand on at the end of the day. But the only open option now, you know, is for they are even praying, even though it looks like the congressman seems not to establish a direct relationship with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But I can give you an insight of what Very Dark Man is talking about based on what happened in France when Bola Ahmed Tinubu visited France. And we remember that there was some top US officials that had a closed door meeting on the issue, because the intelligence report is there that the Fulanis has already laid down, you know, big trap for him to go by a certain fiat by the US president based on what transpired in his drug file and the forfeiture, because the evidence is still in the bank where he forfeited so and so money. And remember, not only him, the whole drug issue is also going to link his wife, link to one Adeboyega, link to one Adewale, you know, and all these cartels, all these people, you know, have one account they are remitting their money, and it happened that that account actually belongs to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, according to the report we are seeing so far. You know, so that's why the CIA always came every now and then and say that Tinubu is still their asset. You know, so they are looking at that direction very well, and the plan to get the British government to lobby US government over that issue collapsed, because Keir Starmer could not know where to stand and to defend Bola Ahmed Tinubu on that area. And you can see the British and the Fulanis in Nigeria have this, you know, common understanding when it comes to, you know, British maintaining their influence in Nigeria. They will always want to use the Fulani. So that's where the crack is coming. So it looks like, you know, that it is a retaliation time, and we are not going to use gun or whatever, and we are not going to put you on the battlefield as you may think. We are also already targeting the Senate, but this one, I tell you that immediately Donald Trump announces, you know, now the drug file of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Do you know what they not intend doing? That is going to be massive. In fact, the whole 66 million Northerners are going to, you know, resume work in Abuja Sorog on daily basis until Tinubu goes. If he fails to go, if he was being reported to have been indicted by drug activities in the United States of America, Chicago precisely. And you know, it's a very big one. It's a very big shame that Nigerian government president, you know, was a former drug dealer in the United States of America, peddling drugs that kill, that the American government said they do not want to engage in it. So he will try for persecution. They can decide to invade him any time. They can decide to invite him, and once they invite him, you know, and I think that is the angle Shetima have come to understand, because I tell them Shetima has some classified information, you know, about Tinubu at this moment, and Tinubu is afraid. And the only thing that Tinubu can run to is the entire South. Please help me. Help me. They are coming. They are coming. They are coming. Because I told you the friction is going to be between. It started from, you know, Tinubu and Shetima, who they are not too compatible in office, and a lot of things is separating them. One of the things that is separating them is the appointment and interest, and which Bola Ahmed Tinubu shut him down completely, and Yorubalized everywhere. So from there, he was invited by Buhari, and Buhari told them, "I told you people. Unfortunately, you didn't see what I'm saying. But the next option is going to be Igbo. They see Igbo, you know, are still putting question mark in the relationship that is going to involve Yorubas and Hausa at the end of the day. But at the moment now, top Fulani political players, major players, are already in Saudi Arabia, in the Arab world, using their links to make sure that, you know, the drug file is reopened as a threat to Bola Ahmed Tinubu ambition 2027 to collapse."
But do you not think, from the inception of this country, since democracy, we've seen that the people that are majorly ruling Nigeria are the Yorubas and the Fulanis. But do you not think that right now the Yorubas will feel betrayed by this move from the Fulanis?
Yes, it has always been there, but somewhere along the line, I pray this one will not trigger to a point, they will not be able to agree again, because if they are not able to agree now, they will want to seek alliance with the Igbo people, and the Igbo people are already saying bye bye to them. So from there, that's why a lot of people are saying that if they champion that uprising from the north over using Tinubu's the drug case to launder America to declare him, a criminal. I wouldn't say he's a criminal anyway. To declare him a person, a drug dealer. You know what it means? That means it will trigger a lot of things. Government can come to a halt, and it might signal be a very big problem that the North can rise, capitalizing on that they don't want president who is a drug dealer. You should go and answer his question. Well, if the FBI can tender that case. So he said, and the funniest thing is that the one that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the FBI director that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been removed. Another person brought in. Tinubu does not have connection with this one. You understand? And the thing is that when they start dragging him now, it's going to affect Remi too, because Remi too was also mentioned in that case. So as people who tendered whatever account, and you can see some of the account details are still there in United States of America, with evidence tracing to as being reported that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was actually involved in drug peddling.
But do you not think if he's truly indicted, do you not think this is a global disgrace? And at the same time, do you not think other world leaders will abstain or move away or stop doing business with Nigeria based on when the #1 citizen of a country has been indicted in drug activity?
So many countries are already running away from Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You understand? He's only trying to see how he can use Macron. I think Macron was his last option, when everything started collapsing. But unfortunately, he wondered why Macron should have treated him the way he treated him the last time he went to France. As he's entering France, Macron is running away from France, and Macron was not able to see him. And when he said and felt embarrassed, he moved to London. You understand? But unfortunately, the same thing happened to him. So the reports from FBI have gone around all over the world, that any moment from now, we are going to announce his drug case. There's one man we know in Nigeria who happens to be the president. He has so record, and there's evidence, against him. So once he's flying there, once in any country there, the fellow colleagues will see him and say, please search him very well. Maybe he have something inside his pocket. He was a drug lord, drug baron. That kind of a thing. It's a very big image for Nigeria, because out of 250 million, the only person we can bring out is a former drug lord. It does not put our image, and maybe that's the reason why Nigeria is facing, cancellation of bilateral and multilateral relationship with several countries. We are a bit active under Jonathan, but when APC government came in, everything, take another direction, to the surprise of many, and of course, you can see it has already been warned. Please don't come close that to Donald Trump, because understand, Donald Trump will not hesitate to, do the damage at the end of the day. But it's a big lesson to the Southwest Yorubas at this point. If the North, the Fulanis will rise up against them, it will be a very big lesson to them. We cannot put Igbos on the table now to feast on them, because if you do that, that will absolutely injustice, because we know what is actually happening and why the Igbo political machine, has been steaming in another direction. It's steaming, but it's steaming in another direction. You understand? A lot of people might not hear the sound. You understand? The kind of politics they play, you understand? The Igbos does not play that kind of politics. At the end of the day, the victimization, no, we don't do that. The Igbos don't do that anyway. But the North, who could not understand that there's a difference between religion and politics. Their own politics is based on religion. But in the southern part of the country here, they are trying to bring that culture of religion into politics in the southern part of the country. And we are not seeing any resistance to that. We are not seeing the South resisting that, especially when they bring people who share the same ideology in terms of religion to govern the entire southern region. You can see what is happening. You know, look at governors bowing down to Sultan of Sokoto from the eastern part of the country. You know, look at Wike. Look at even they want to introduce Baba Sope type of politics. You understand? You can see where the thing is. You can see where the thing is heading to, and these governors cannot speak up if their people are being killed by the Fulanis. They cannot talk. You see, everybody is silent, you know. But I think it will get to a point, you know, it will trigger, you know, a regional revolution at the end of the day, where everything will lead to, of course, what we are still talking about today. That is exactly might be the second plan. So plan B of the northern Nigeria.
Okay, okay. But do you think that Tinubu will step down if he's actually indicted? And do you think he will answer to the call of the US government?
I think that he also calculated well, you know, by putting some core, replacing, taking his men to fix in some key positions in case that happens. You know, the structure will not be too down at the end of the day. But what is going to come from the Senate, and once he's been indicted, you know, ahead of 2027, because there's no how the FBI will not release the case file. They will. That's, you know, once it releases and there's any evidence of that, you know, I think the North will spearhead an impeachment process from the Senate, you know, and that will trigger what will happen at the end of the day, and he'll be forced to, you know, collapse and pave way, you know, for another doctrine of necessity.
Okay, and lastly, do you think that okay, and lastly, do you think that this case would have? Do you think that if Tinubu were not to be the president of Nigeria, do you think that they would have Fulanis would have brought up this case to indict him if Tinubu was not the president of Nigeria?
If Tinubu was not the president of Nigeria, definitely a Southerner would have been, you know, and the type of politics a Southerner would have played might be different from the one Bola Ahmed Tinubu is playing, you know. And the only thing they will want to do is that, you know, if there is no balance, if everything is lopsided, you know, they might not want to champion any form of peace anymore. So they will look at that area, either using the Senate or trying to see the area the president is not doing well and instigate an uprising, and maybe through impeachment or whatever, you know. So the Tinubu type of politics, you know, I think it's a lacuna one, and it's a threat to, and he has not been able to bring a positive result on the dividends of democracy. And this kind of thing, the North does not want Nigeria to break. So if you are coming up with this kind of policy that's already threatened over stretched citizens economically, the North will not be happy, because the North know what they have benefited from Nigeria, especially from the crude oil resources from the Biafran land. They know what they have benefited so much. So if Tinubu is coming to instigate economic an uprising against Nigeria, it will lead to breakup. So if they don't look for options, you know, to understand deeply where this economic policies is heading to, is it going to trigger a form of revolution from the people? Is it going to trigger an unrest? Is it going to create an atmosphere where Nigerians will become armed by themselves and take laws into their hand as a result of hardship and hunger? So the North are also looking at that, you know, having invested so much in Nigeria, and somebody does come in less than 1 year, Nigeria has broken up. So it's a very big one, and for them, and a very big slap for them. If it happens, the North will weep.
Okay, thank you very much.